It's a frightening trend that more and more middle schoolers are taking their own life. You may have heard the story of a 12-year-old girl who was bullied at school, took her own life last year. Well, her parents are now fighting back. You're going to hear from them. Monica Guy has the full story. Monica, what do you got?
Mallory Grossman was just 12 years old when she died. She was a good student, had a great smile, a good sense of humor, and when she wasn't doing everything that a normal 12-year-old does, she was raising money to send kids with cancer to summer camp.
She's just the all-American little girl. I mean, she really was.
The pictures of a cheerful young girl were hiding a troubling backstory. New Jersey couple Seth and Diane Grossman say Mallory was bullied mercilessly, and despite reporting it several times to officials at Copeland Middle School, Mallory ultimately took her own life on June 14, 2017. Now they are suing the Rockaway Township Board of Education, saying it could have done more to protect their daughter.
When it first started happening, I think it was, hey, I had a bad day at school, and she would come home with, I had a bad day, and I would say, oh, really, why did you have such a bad day? What's wrong? And so she would give us little sound bites of what happened. And then, of course, I would bring those sound bites to the school's attention.
The day she died, Mallory and her parents met with the school principal for what would end up being the last time. Just hours later, Mallory was gone. Her death is something the Grossmans say the school could have helped prevent.
Well, they came to the funeral and, we're sorry for your loss. And my answer was, I told you. That's exactly what I said to them. I told you.
That feeling has turned into a call to action. The Rockaway Township Board of Education, along with several members of the staff and faculty at the school, are now named as defendants in a civil lawsuit filed by the family.
They could take ownership in what happened, and they could reach out to the law firm and start an open dialogue. They could start the communication, and they could take ownership for the role that they played.
Documents say that role was extensive. Over the course of 10 months, the Grossmans say Mallory was taunted and ostracized by a group of 4 girls. The alleged bullying happening face-to-face over social media and in text messages. Comments that ended up being prophetic.
I would have liked Mallory to go to that fair, but instead they asked her when she would kill herself. So my answer is June 14th. Since you were so pressing and you wanted to know when my daughter would die, it's June 14th.
Despite their pain, the Grossmans want to effect change.
There's days you just shut down.
Yeah, like today.
We've been moving full force in the past year with the foundation, with Mallory's Army, and all the other things we're promoting, so that people are advocating for us. That's a good feeling.
That was Seth, Mallory's father, talking about the foundation the family set up called Mallory's Army. It works with schools and parents so they can teach kids about the real consequences of bullying. Reporting for Chasing News, I'm Monica Guy.
Thanks, Monica. I also had a chance to catch up with former county prosecutor and now defense attorney Bob Bianchi, who has handled cases similar to this in the past.
A terrible, tragic case of a kid that was being tormented to death, literally. So the question becomes legally, did the school follow the protocols of the harassment, intimidation, and bullying law? Did the township do the right thing under the law, or did they not? And if they did not, then they are subjecting themselves to significant liability. I believe both legally and morally, this is a fair lawsuit to file, and let's see where the facts lead us.
All right, let's bring back the A-plus panel to break this down. A very, very difficult story. Janetta, we'll start with you. I mean, you're talking about there has been a rise in middle school suicides. It is horrific to wrap your head around this. That said, did the bullying law maybe potentially only set up a stage for lawsuits, but didn't necessarily do anything to protect these kids?
Yeah, this is just breaking my heart, Bill. I don't see any good coming out of this bullying law right now because the number of suicides have just increased in the past couple of years. I mean, I think as a parent of 2 middle school kids myself, one of the things these kids have to grapple with that we never had to in our generation is social media and the internet bullying that goes on. I don't really know, I don't have an answer for that, but it's heartbreaking, and my heart goes out to the parents.
Bill, I mean, yeah, I mean, your heart breaks for sure with this. But that said, is the school, in your opinion, like, should they be punished at some level if they didn't handle it? I mean, there are two sides to it. I'm a big believer kids need to work these things out themselves. They need to learn how to block people on social media. There's got to be more that we can do to teach them to be tougher. That said, this is clearly something that was going on for a long period of time. What role should the school play?
They've got to step up. I mean, listen, moms and dads and, need to play a role in kids' lives. But when they can't, right, when this is beyond the capability of a parent, you go to the school to seek help. And what you 9 times out of 10 encounter is just unimaginable bureaucracy. And I think that's part of this frustration. One of the good things I hope comes out of this, and I'm just amazed about what this family's doing, is they're bringing light to some of this. And it sounds to me that there's some good coming out of this horrible tragedy. Maybe that's what we need, but we need to reform the bureaucracy that exists in our school system.
All right, thanks, guys.